So, change management. There are several steps to management of change management, differently worded. First one would be that it involves the selection of a department, resource, asset, or the sorts to be shifted to a desired state. That would be basically the definition for change, right? Since it is within the context of company, it also seeks the consensus of the stakeholders. That means the people that have an interest over the company should approve of that change and the way it's going to manage. At the time of planning this change, the main focus should be to determine the best strategy for to execute the change, right? Where it should be smooth, aggressive, and large scale, a small scale, large scale, etc. And then, as for what department should be in the loop, this change, right? That should be dependent on the distribution of the company's employees and those who are going to be affected by the change, right? Whether it's going to be departmentalized or they are all free workers. So, for example, they should include, in that case, the human resources and conduct some feasibility studies. Management of change can be narrowed down into 4 steps, right? Identifying the change, communicating the change, implementing it, and evaluating it. So, identifying, there is a plethora of methods by which we can identify, right? We can have the STEEP analysis, which is frequently used in all sorts of business. Stands for science, technology, environment, economy, politics, legislation, and environment. Again. Then SWOT analysis, strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and threats for business, and also Telos feasibility, right? If you have an opportunity for change that's also feasible and costs almost no money for the business to implement, why not change it? Because change should always be good, right? Then for the communication part, as we said, stakeholders need to be aware of the change and should agree to it in order to take place, right? So stakeholders should be communicated of it, IT personnel too, as well as any other affected staff by this change. Then the development of plan would be in place, right? Whether it's going to be a direct change, a phased change, parallel, or pilot, as in how it's going to be implemented, right? And then once the change is in place, what will be the course of action? Now, for implementation, it's pretty straightforward. Just executing the changes and fine-tuning as any issues arise. Finally, for the evaluation part, we should go back to the Telos feasibility analysis, right? Just a quick reminder that Telos stands for technology, economic feasibility, legal feasibility, operational feasibility, and staff feasibility. Also, conclude the final benefits and drawbacks of the change, because the change might have deviated from the initial plan, and you are going to need to do a comprehensive analysis of where the company lies now after the change. And finally, what most companies look forward the most, which is communicate to the world the change, because that's what makes it usually a good change. So, thanks.